The NBA Draft Combine is where everything truly gets unmasked for the next generation of professional basketball talent. Measurables that get listed by teams without any proof get exposed. Physical abilities get put to the test after getting a good idea of what they can do on the court, and even though the data that comes from this event isn't the end-all be-all for these players, it historically has proven to be a pretty good way to reveal how successful guys can be in certain areas, which brings us to today's video. Today we'll be discussing the 3 biggest winners and the 3 biggest losers of the Draft Combine this year based on how they performed in the drills, measurements, and scrimmages compared to what we were hoping to see from them. Before we start though, it turns out a good amount of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but it also very much appreciated. Now with that being said, let's begin. Starting with our first big winner of the 2025 NBA Draft Combine, we have Khaman Maluach from Duke. Maluach had a rough end to the season in March Madness, struggling with the physicality of his opposition and with securing rebounds in traffic, so to rejuvenate the excitement about his upside and long-term potential, the incredible physical tools that we see from him needed to stack up with the measurements taken at the Combine, and that is exactly what they did. Maluach measured in at 7 feet and 3/4 of an inch for his height without shoes on. His wingspan was measured to be 7'6" and 3/4 inches long, and his standing reach was 9 feet 6 inches long. Those are absolutely monstrous measurements for a center and are 100% the kind of physical tools that an NBA's development team will want to work with, because the length like that, if honed right, will be able to contest anything and everything around the rim, and rebounding will come with length like that too. Then, when you factor in how he also showed off a reasonably promising shooting stroke during the shooting drills, he reassured most scouts about the fact that even though he's far from a finished product right now, he's a project worth investing in for the future. Now, for the first unfortunate loser of the Draft Combine this year, we have Ace Bailey from Rutgers. Ace Bailey had a very up-and-down year at Rutgers, playing alongside fellow top prospect Dylan Harper. He entered the season expected to be neck and neck with Cooper Flagg as the class's top prospect, but things didn't quite play out that way, as he wasn't quite the dominant scorer who could get anywhere he wanted at will like he was advertised. He struggled mightily to get by defenders all season long, settling for way too many contested jumpers and low-quality looks in traffic, but the silver lining with him was that he was a 6'10" shot maker who could confidently rise up over smaller defenders. Or so we thought. As it turns out, the 6'10" listing he was given was a flat-out lie, as his height actually measured in at 6'7.5" tall at the Combine, which is a shocking difference. We all know that players typically fudge the numbers on their height a bit, giving themselves an extra inch, but for him to actually be 2.5 inches shorter than everyone thought he was is a bit concerning. A 6'10" shot maker is a lot different than a 6'7" shot maker, especially when he struggles as much as he does creating separation. Then during the physical leap drills, Ace Bailey's max vert was just 34 inches, which is a pretty mediocre number compared to the presumption that he was an elite athlete that had close to a 40-inch vertical. Now for our next big winner of the Combine this year, we have Clayton Jr. from Florida. Clayton was the hero of March Madness this year, leading his Florida squad to win the championship, and his out-of-this-world shot creation skills captured the hearts of basketball fans everywhere. That run undoubtedly boosted his draft stock a ton, because prior to March Madness, he was seen as a fringe first-round pick, more favored to fall into the second round, but now he's starting to prove to be worth a swing maybe in the middle of the first round. It was always known that he was an undersized guard, so to overcome that, his shooting prowess was going to have to be the real deal, and not just a hot stretch of play. So the shooting drills at the Combine were a good place for him to show up in front of scouts and put on a show, and that is exactly what he did. Starting in the spot-up shooting drill, Clayton tied for the best showing in the entire event, making 20 of his 25 shots. Then in the three-point star shooting drill, which incorporates some movement into shot-making testing, he knocked down 17 of his 25 attempts, ranking for 9th best, comfortably in the top 10 out of 91 participants. Clayton has the it factor to hit big shots in big moments, and it's starting to look like he can be pretty efficient on a regular basis at the next level as well, proving he belongs in first-round conversations. Now for the next unfortunate loser of the Combine this year, we have Derik from Maryland. Queen was another March Madness star who put up some big numbers in the tournament, and his work as a highly skilled big man on the offensive end intrigued basketball fans and analysts everywhere. His upside as a prospect is as a player an offense can run through, with excellent production from the post, a brilliant ability to attack defenders facing up in the mid-range, and a smart decision maker with underrated passing skills. The concerns about his ability to translate to the NBA level always came from the fact that he's been known to have some conditioning issues, he's undersized for an NBA center, and he's really not very athletic, so it's tough to project him getting much better at protecting the rim and consistently being able to make the right rotations. His height measured in at just 6'9", and his wingspan was 7 feet long, which is decent but not anything to write home about, and most of the guys who thrive with measurables like that are at the very least explosive athletes. Based on how Queen tested in the agility and athleticism drills, he is nowhere close to that. His time in the lane agility drill was the 3rd worst time in the last 5 years of Combine testing, and his vertical jump of 28 inches would have ranked dead last in last year's Combine. The team that drafts him will have to plan on making him a focal point of their offense to get their value back, because otherwise he may end up sliding a bit down the board. And now for our third and final big winner of the Combine this year, we have Cedric from Washington State. Coward is committed to transfer to Duke for his senior season next year, but based on how he has performed at the Combine, he may end up staying in the draft because scouts everywhere have come away very impressed with him. It's understandable for you to have no idea who this even is because he only managed to play 6 games this season before unfortunately suffering a season-ending injury. He's back healthy now though, and he immediately turned heads when the measurements of his physical tools came in. Coward is a 6'5" tall guard with an unheard of 7'2" long wingspan and an 8'10" long standing reach. Those are numbers you don't even see on many centers, and he is out on the perimeter locking up opposing ball handlers with length like that. Then in the shooting drills, he ranked in the top 10 of pretty much all of them, hitting 23 of his 30 shot attempts in the off-the-dribble shooting drill, hitting 18 of his 25 shots in the spot-up shooting drill, and hitting 17 of his 25 shots in the three-point star drill. He'll need to improve as a creator off the dribble to really shine at the next level, but his floor as a two-way 3-and-D player fits into any rotation. And finally, the last of the unfortunate losers from the draft combine this year that we'll be discussing today is Collin Murray-Boyles from South Carolina. CMB's appeal as a prospect is as an incredibly versatile defender who has been compared to Draymond Green for those very reasons. The Draymond Green comparisons also come with the negatives in that regard though, as Murray-Boyles is an extremely undersized big man that can't really shoot. Just how undersized he is wasn't really known until the combine though, so when he measured in with a height of just 6 foot 6.5 inches tall, you came to realize he's shorter than most wing players in today's game, gearing up to battle with mostly bigger and sometimes stronger forwards and centers. Defense has never been the concern with him though, and if he wants to truly hit his ceiling, he has to be able to space the floor at least decently. He shot just 26% from 3 in college this season, but if he had a stronger showing at the combine, it would be easier to buy into potential improvement there, but unfortunately, he struggled mightily. In the spot-up shooting drill, he made just 7 of 25 shots, ranking second to worst out of all 91 participants, and in the three-point star drill, he made just 10 out of 25 shots, good for 6th worst on the day. He's still lottery talent because the versatility he provides on defense is too valuable, but his ceiling may be a lot lower than initially advertised. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below who stood out the most to you at the Combine this year. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.